warning when you go see this film. James Corden is in it. I would have appreciated someone would have told me that he was in this film. Very briefly, but still, I was kind of taken aback when I saw his face. I went, oh, why are you here?
Insert a little wee jingle here.
Hello, my name is Mariama and welcome back to my Photobooth Diaries. And as you can see from my desktop today, I'm going to be talking about California Schemin. If you don't know the premises of this film, it's James McAvoy's directorial debut and it's about these two guys, and it's based on a true story. It's about these two Scottish lads from Dundee who essentially scam a record company to sign in them by scamming people and telling people that they're from California. They faked American accent, changed their music, and they had everything with Americanisms in it. And I can't believe this has actually happened, but also when I think about it, I'm not surprised. It reiterated something that I already thought about. It's really about classism, let's be so for real here. There's something that one of the characters say to one of the main characters in this. It is near the end of the movie, and they're basically saying to one of the boys out of the duo of the two, being like, you know, you didn't have to do all this. You could have just been yourself. And then he's rightfully so like, we were. But they made fun of us. They laughed at us. And then she also asked them, so why didn't you try again? And he sort of looks at her like, one audition. You did one thing. And then it's the end of the world. I was kind of in my head like, well, how are they to know? How are they to know that's how it worked? Because obviously, if you have interest in this industry, in the music industry, and you already know people in the music industry, in different aspects, could be different things. It doesn't necessarily need to be a producer or whatever. But they will tell you it's going to be a bit harder, it's going to be a bit rougher. These guys didn't really know anyone. They just knew the things that they knew. They liked music, they made music, and that's about how far it went. And the people that would tell them things, it would more be like, you guys are weird, or you guys are, that's what you do, kind of thing. Like, sort of like that riddy culture that's quite big in Scotland. But it was never coming like constructive, oh, maybe we should go about things this way. It was more like a, be more realistic. In reality, what you're trying to do, that doesn't happen for boys like you. And I think they only got so far as well because it was that time where people like Eminem were so big, and you really wanted, people love white boys rapping. They genuinely really do. But white Scottish boys rapping is like funny. Obviously things are a little bit different now. You've got groups like Kneecap, an Irish rap group. I honestly can't think of any Scottish rappers. The only thing I can think about right now is Calvin Harris, but he's a DJ, so it's not the same thing, is it? But it was very much like, it just made me think about sort of, especially with music and stuff, and how important these things are that need to be taught in schools. Because when you don't teach these things, or when you don't have access to them, it means that only the elite do. Because it does end up becoming an extra curriculum activity for most people. You have to have money to be able to waste your time. You waste a lot of time creating music, going over it again, and going over the same things again and again, for then someone to not listen to you, or not even like listen to your whole demo track, or just to put it in a pile and never look at it again. It's a lot of time spent, and a lot of time that people don't freely have if they come from certain socio-economic backgrounds. I'm like really a massive advocate for making sure that if we're doing these types of things, we need to make sure that they're in the curriculum, but it's not. And when it's not in the curriculum, someone's not able to do it, they have to either go out of their own way and means to figure out and learn it themselves. It's great that we have the internet now and things like YouTube. A lot of people learn how to do these things by themselves through YouTube. But there isn't a formative way of doing it. And then because you don't have a formative way of doing it, you also don't have the formative way of understanding and learning. How do I manage to set my goals and steps to be able to get to where I want to get to? If I want to become a rap person, a rap star, and release albums and whatever. How do I get there? You don't certainly do it through this way, by pretending to be American lads from California and then somehow managing to scam your way through £1,000 deal, record deal. Do you know what I mean? But then it speaks volume about why did they need to do it in the first place? Why did they have to go out of their way? Because they were not recognised. They tried to go through the proper route and they were laughed at because of their accent. I really enjoyed the film, like from a watching standpoint, and not even just like thinking about the kinds of themes and issues that they're talking about. I enjoyed just watching the film and getting to watch James McAvoy's directorial debut. I was very jealous when the Barrowland scene came up because everyone and their bloody mums was an extra on that set at Barrowlands. I wasn't there. I am still vexed. I'm still fuming about that. I remember seeing everyone's Instagram stories. I was just scrolling through everybody. When I say everyone was there, everyone was there. I was so lost. I was so confused, and I was like, why am I in London right now? Why is it when the good, interesting stuff happens, it happens when I'm not home? Glasgow used to be boring. Well, it's not boring, but it's like boring. The comments when people would joke about, oh, like, where you're from, Scotland, Dundee, oh, the bush, like, do you guys have that stuff up there? It kind of hit me personally, because I've had that from my own family members down here. They're being like, you guys have that? Or other friends of mine be like, do you guys have that? Like, they think that I actually think people think that Scotland's a bush. And yeah, I might shit on Glasgow sometimes, but we've got a unicorn now. Like, genuinely, we're living life up there. Is Sucky Hall Street and basically all of Glasgow in an absolute tat right now because of Glasgow City Council and whatever they're doing? Yeah, but yeah, I don't even know what I'm trying to say about this film, but like it's interesting, and I like the things that it comments on, and it really it didn't open up my eyes. It was nice to know that other people were also thinking about these things as well, and that this is a conscious thing that we are aware of. Whether or not that changes, or whether or not that this improves, is a whole nother thing. James McAvoy has been actually doing quite a lot for it because he does, and for a couple of years now, I was one of the recipients of it. He does the James McAvoy scholarship that you can get at the Conservatoire. When I was a junior, at one point, I got that scholarship to be able to do 1 year at the Conservatoire as a junior there. I really like this, and I'm excited to see what other things James McAvoy does. I dream to work with him. It's my dream to work with him. Brilliant film. And yeah, like, it's a very interesting concept. And I do think it's interesting because one of the characters, the lady that introduces them and like is the one that's like advocating for them, she's like, she has brought people before, but because these guys are white and it was more interesting, so they were like pushing through that. It's very interesting. That's another thing is interesting to think about, how we will like to consume black media or things that derive from black culture, but we prefer it from people who are not black. There's nothing wrong with white people enjoying rap and wanting to be rappers. Like, that's not, because these guys were very much coming from, like, it was more of an issue when they were trying to be American, I think, and they were doing something that was not them. And then Seamus's character was very like character. I think it was Brains in the duo. He gets consumed by it because his character very much, I think, needs this. He's such an anxious person and he feels so out of place in his own home. He's constantly getting the weird comments. He's constantly getting told how things basically aren't for him, and that gives him so much anxiety that he really like lives in this fakeness, this truth. Like, it becomes true to him whereas when it was him as himself, as the guy that's from Dundee, everything just felt more real. Even their raps, everything just felt, to me, sounded better when they were in their natural Scottish accents. The fact that they even got laughed at the first time round and then had to do the American thing, and apparently that was more cooler, it was just interesting. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little spiel of me not saying absolutely nothing. But yeah.
Insert a little wee jingle here.